Uh-oh.
Okay, we'll start with this. The rumors checked out. Chantel Cameron has effectively signed with Frank Warren and Queensberry. She will be boxing on TNT moving forward and not DAZN. Mixed feelings about the move.
I'm ambivalent.
It is a new beginning for Chantel Cameron. Warren, you feel, will give Chantel Cameron greater prominence in his thoughts, a high-profile signing for the veteran promoter that could benefit all concerned. Cameron turns 33 later this month and is a fighter who still has many more big nights left in her. A third fight with Katie Taylor will always be in her thoughts, but that is far from her only option. The likes of Michaela Mayer, Natasha Jonas, and the rest of the red-hot welterweight division will be in consideration. An opportunity to become a two-weight world champion will surely be the target for Cameron, who still retains plenty of ambition.
I saw the press conference. I saw Chantel say that Katie didn't want that trilogy.
But it looked like that's what they were going to do up until Netflix offered her all that money, an estimated $6 million to run it back with Amanda Serrano on their platform.
Nobody was going to turn down money like that.
Chantel Cameron trilogy would have made for a great fight and a great trilogy, but I don't think Katie stood to make $6 million from a trilogy with Chantel. She stands to make more with Amanda, so she made the natural choice, the natural selection that any boxer would have made, especially a female boxer in that situation. $6 million.
There was a time where that kind of money was not available for a woman boxer.
Thus, the welterweight division will be in consideration for Chantel. An opportunity to become a two-weight world champion will surely be the target for Cameron, who still retains plenty of ambition. Cameron will return in the summer before targeting the big nights and the big fights. Now under the tutelage of Grant Smith in Sheffield, after amicably leaving Jamie Moore and Nigel Travis earlier this year, Cameron seems revitalized with her recent changes, but maybe more importantly, she seems happy. In recent times, that clearly hasn't been the case.
She's given everything a complete overhaul. New promoter, new training team.
But is it for the best, though? You left Matchroom to go over to Queensberry to fight who? To fight who at welterweight? 2 of the 4 alphabet titles are over there at Boxer.
And there's another one at Matchroom, which you just left.
You have to figure that Chantel Cameron's first fight under the Queensberry Promotions banner may come against newly crowned welterweight champion Ivana Habazin, who picked up the WBC title, the vacant WBC title, in her last fight a few weeks ago opposite the ring Kinga Magyar. Ivana Habazin is not with a major promotional outfit, thus making a fight with her shouldn't take too long.
Be too difficult.
I think that Frank Warren and Queensberry can make that fight happen for Chantel, but it's after that where things might get difficult. Sandy Ryan's at Matchroom, Lauren Price is at Boxer, so is Natasha Jonas.
How do you get them in the ring?
Like I said, I think that Frank Warren and Queensberry can make a Cameron versus Habazin fight happen, but Matchroom could have made that fight happen. Matchroom could have got you Ivana Habazin, so was it really worth crossing over?
Not sure.
You could argue that maybe we get Cameron versus Ryan after that as part of the Matchroom versus Queensberry tournament later on this year, the second one.
But Matchroom could have made that fight happen. You didn't have to go to Queensberry to get a Sandy Ryan fight. See, essentially what I'm getting at is
Queensberry can make some fights for Chantel Cameron. They can, but they're not fights that Matchroom couldn't have made. Same fights Queensberry can make, Matchroom could have made.
Then why leave?
I think it's because she got tired of playing second fiddle to Katie Taylor at Matchroom. That's what I think it is. I think that for Chantel, going to Queensberry, she won't feel like she's in anybody's shadow or taking the back seat to anybody. That's what I think it is. You can argue that Matchroom treated that situation the same way any other promoter would have treated that situation, that Katie Taylor is so clearly a bigger draw than Chantel, a bigger name, and all of that. And while all of that is true,
doesn't mean Chantel's happy about it, and it's not something that she will have to deal with over there at Queensberry. Over there at Queensberry, as far as their female fighters, she'll be the biggest name. She won't be in anybody's shadow.
Because she's more established than Nicola Bark, than Christine O'Hara, than Raven Chapman. At this time, Chantel Cameron is a proven and more established fighter than they are, so she's not playing second fiddle to anyone. That's the logic, I think. Though whether or not this was a good move, that's a story that only time can tell. We don't know what will or won't happen as a result of Chantel going to Queensberry. We'll just have to find out.
The same thing about Haney. I mean, who's to say that he's not doping or anything like that? And I'm only saying that because he's connected with Victor Conte.
Yeah.
I mean, once a snake, always a snake. And this motherfucker, this dude, fucking so smart that he knows how to hide that shit. But yet, when it's not in their favor, man, they can pull some strings, bro. I mean, you gotta be careful, and that's something that's beyond my control. So that's why we have lawyers, we have our own doctors to analyze everything. But if you look at my son's videos, you could see the truth in him. You could say, hey, he's like, come on.
It's one thing for fans and the spectators in what is this spectator sport to make these connections, make these associations, make them publicly devoid of recourse, devoid of reprisal. But it's quite another when Henry Garcia, Ryan Garcia's father, makes them as he's doing the rounds on social media. On his own social media, he said, look, people, so it's clear. Snack is part of Victor Conte. They sponsor Devin Haney,
Right.
who is part of VADA testing, Victor Conte. Lastly, who was the referee when Devin fought Loma? Harvey Dock. Now, who was the referee for Devin versus Ryan? Harvey Dock.
Yeah, but weren't you the A-side?
Wasn't that a Golden Boy Promotions show? And in that show, wasn't Ryan Garcia the A-side? Isn't he the one that got the lion's share of the pot, all that stuff?
He was.
Henry continued, yikes, this is scary, people. Nothing is safe out there. Just a good beatdown that Ryan gave to Devin. Now they're trying so hard to take this win away from him. But who is they? Who are you implicating?
If you're gonna insinuate foul play, and there is a they, who are they, and what are they doing? How are they trying to take the win away from Ryan?
Is this in association with your son's 2 positive VADA tests? Are you suggesting that Devin Haney, in association with Victor Conte, and Victor Conte in association with VADA, are you insinuating they tampered with Ryan's samples? They altered them? Are you insinuating they set your son up?
Is that what you're saying?
Because it's one thing if I say it, or somebody else on social media, but it's quite another when you say it, when Henry Garcia says it.
It's defamation.
If what you're insinuating is that VADA on behalf of Victor Conte and Victor on behalf of Devin did something to Ryan's samples, and that's the only reason those steroids were in them,
They can sue you for defamation.
when you're doing the rounds and you're beating the drum, don't beat it too hard, because you may bring a defamation suit down on yourself in doing so. If you fail to come up with a reasonable explanation as to why Osterin and Nandrolone were found in your son's samples.
This ain't like Clenbo, to where you can say you ate some tainted meat and perhaps that's how that got in your system. This ain't like Clenbo. Those substances are qualifiable substances, not quantifiable.
What's the difference?
A quantifiable substance, depending on the quantity found in the person's system, may suggest cross-contamination. Maybe you took a bad supplement, or you ate some tainted meat. A quantifiable substance, but a qualifiable substance?
Oh no, that's something else.
Because it's not supposed to be there. That's why it's a qualifiable substance, not a quantifiable substance.
A qualifiable substance could be something that doesn't occur naturally in the body, or something synthetic, something designer.
Qualifiable substance.
As not all banned substances are created equal, and this matter of fact seems lost on the layman here today. It's not even that I care about performance-enhancing drugs in the sport of boxing, because I don't, and I've often said that, highlighting that neither do all of you. You pick and choose when you want to let that bother you.
You pretend to care when it's convenient, and you don't care when it's convenient. So when it's Ryan Garcia, and you're arguing his innocence.
When he is so obviously guilty, when he's been caught red-handed.
That's what I'm talking about.
It's what I've been talking about. The boxing fans in the sport of boxing are nothing but a bunch of cornflakes who can't seem to make up their mind how they want to feel about this issue.
I don't care.
Because as far as I'm concerned, the entire sport could be doping, for all I know. That's my stance on it.
But that's not theirs.
No, their stance is that Ryan Garcia is innocent. He has to be innocent because if he's not, that taints his victory over Devin. That's their stance.
So while you're arguing how Ryan is innocent, and you go as far as implicating VADA in connection with Victor Conte and Victor Conte in connection with Devin, maybe you can get away with that.
You can, but Henry can't. You do that long enough and you'll bring a defamation suit down on yourself because no one else but VADA handled those samples. And if what you're suggesting is they were tainted on purpose, that someone set up your son, you're essentially implicating them. There's no way it works out to where you're not implicating them because they're the ones who send out their representatives to collect those samples. So if something happens in between the time they collect the sample and the results are sent out,
They would be culpable.
for your son to be innocent, they would have to be guilty. That is, unless you can explain why Osterin and Nandrolone were found in his system.
If he didn't take it on purpose.
And what you're saying is, he didn't. So, what happened? You're bringing up Devin Haney, you're bringing up Victor Conte, Snack, VADA. What are you saying, Henry?
You're saying that when Ryan Garcia tests positive for 2 steroids, that's Devin Haney's fault.
Well, all right.
I'll be your Huckleberry. I'll play devil's advocate. Maybe it is, but you can't just say something like that. You have to prove it.
And so, in the effort to try to shift the focus and shift the blame away from Ryan Garcia,
Because he's innocent.
some have taken to bringing up Devin's relationship with Victor Conte and Victor Conte's long works alongside the Voluntary Anti-Doping Association. Speculation in and of itself amongst the fight fans, while harmless, will not be interpreted the same way if this is the only way that Team Garcia can explain why these banned substances were found in his system. If you're going to cite foul play, you have to prove it, and the burden of proof, it's not on the accused, it's on the accuser.
Ryan Garcia himself cited a supplement, ashwagandha,
As the potential cause, but the manufacturer of that supplement released an official statement saying, contrary to any recent confusion, Gaia Herbs ashwagandha root doesn't contain Osterin.
They're not taking this lying down, and they're not going to take the fall for you.
Allow you to put this on them by implying that it's on their end.
He's all over the place.
While being noticeably lighthearted about the whole thing, Ryan Garcia said, I'm on the Jesus steroid, to which Memo Heredia, who is well versed on the subject of banned substances, replied, no, unfortunately, lab reports say otherwise.
I thought you didn't care about banned substances.
I don't. They're the ones that care about banned substances or want to pretend like they care about banned substances. That's why they need for Ryan to be innocent, or at least appear that way. So much so, they're willing to manufacture conspiracies.
He is too.
Henry Garcia says that Devin Haney, Victor Conte, and VADA set him up. Ryan Garcia himself says it's the second part of the Matrix attack, like Andrew Tate and myself. They make false claims and try to ban me from boxing or put me in jail. Crazy.
Who's trying to put you in jail?
The whole time this anti-doping fiasco's been going on, I didn't hear nothing about no jail time.
I think he's being facetious.
Ryan continued, I'm seen with Trump, and now I'm positive for steroids. This is a straight attack. Crazy.
Wait, so who's attacking him?
What, the far-left extremists? The Democratic Party? Alexandria Ocasio?
God, she's fucking hot.
Your father's saying that it's Devin, Victor Conte, and VADA. You're saying it's a Matrix attack. It's the far-left extremists. It's the Democrats.
What about the lizard people?
The Illuminati, the global elites, global warming.
Ancient aliens, the History Channel, all of it.
It's everybody's fault.
It is.
Everybody's fault but Ryan's, because it's more likely that all of this is behind it than Ryan's just another dirty fighter in a sport of boxing.
I mean, that's my stance. He got caught.
You want me to believe he's innocent.
Was this all an act? What part of it was real? Tell us about it.
I mean, my cameraman Chance, Ajay's there. Hey, we have it pre-recorded months ago. What did I say was gonna happen? I said, I'm about to make sure everybody thinks I'm going to go crazy. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. Watch, it's going to be called The Great Escape. Like, I have it all documented. I was already planning it, weeks and weeks and months behind.
It's a little hard to go back to playing the conspiracy nut when you already admitted on the Patrick Bet-David podcast that you were faking. You were faking that whole thing. The whole time you were pretending to be mentally ill, allowing people to believe it, going as far as saying that you were molested as a child.
As if being either mentally ill or molested is any laughing matter.
It must have been to Ryan, because that's how he quote-unquote trolled the whole world. So let me see if I understand this when evaluating Ryan's character and what would be his innocence, because he would never do something like that.
Use a steroid to gain a competitive edge.
Let me see if I understand this. The guy who lied about being mentally ill, lied about being molested, deliberately blew the weight, then admitted it afterwards that it wasn't by mistake, it was by design.
Why?
In Ryan's own words, he didn't want to weaken himself by making the weight. He knew he'd have a competitive edge if he didn't. You're telling me
These are matters of fact.
a guy who deliberately misrepresents himself and deliberately misses weight to gain a competitive edge, he wouldn't also take a banned substance to gain a competitive edge.
Even when not one, but two banned substances are found in his system.
You want me to believe he's innocent. And you want me to believe that he's innocent because you want his victory over Devin to be a legitimate victory, a credible victory.
Well, I'm sorry, but it's not.
And if you want my opinion, and you're here, so I'll assume that you do.
No.
No, I don't think he's innocent, and that victory, no, it's tainted, it's soiled.
Sorry.
Notice the growing number of individuals have grown upset with me over how I've been handling this situation, citing the Alicia Baumgartner case and asking, did I keep the energy for Alicia that I'm now keeping for Ryan?
Fuck no.
And I didn't beat around the bush as to why.
No.
Alicia is an insanely attractive woman, and I believe that she's so attractive it doesn't matter.
What?
And I said it in plain English. I think that woman is far too attractive for me to care about that stuff. But is the reason you're bringing her up to me because you think Ryan is insanely attractive? I mean, you want me to keep the same energy for him
What?
that I keep for her.
I'm not gonna do that. This is not that kind of party. Are you in a guise or something?
Because that's what it sounds like. That because I gave Alicia a pass because she's hot, you want me to give Ryan a pass. Why?
Because you think Ryan is hot?
It's gotta be it if you're gonna go as far as making that connection, that association. And you can think whatever you want to think about Ryan. That's not your problem. Your problem is what other people think and how all of this looks to them.
You want him to look innocent to them. To me. But he doesn't. Sorry.